Today we're going to walk you through how to properly log a pre-trip inspection based on our company policy. Starting out from the home screen, you want to go to eDriver Logs, you want to go to Duty Status, then you want to go down to line 4 and over to Inspect. It's wanting to confirm that we're going from off duty to on duty, so this is going to start our 14-hour clock. We press OK, give it just a little bit, and it'll bring up this screen right here. We want to select New, and then ask what kind of inspection that we would like to do. Would we like to do a pre-trip, an inter-trip, a post-trip, or a DOT? Our company doesn't require an inter-trip, so we're just going to select a pre-trip in this case. Then it'll bring up, was there any defects found? Company policy requires to do a 5-minute pre and post-trip inspection. So now David is going to walk you around the what we require out of a pre-trip and a post-trip inspection.
I'm David with Morgan Van Lines, and today we're going to do a pre-trip on a truck. It's very important for the company and as well as for the driver. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check my oil to make sure that the truck is not using a whole lot of oil, to make sure that the oil is full. Then while I'm over here on this side of the tractor, I'm going to make sure that my lines that supply the air to the brakes, I don't see any chafing or any holes in them. They look good. I've checked the oil. I'm going to ease over to the other side over here. Going to make sure that my fluids are all full. They're topped off. Make sure that there's some fuel right there in the fuel filter. I'm going to check all my hoses to make sure that there's not a bad hose or a leak. I'm going to check the same over here to make sure that the air supply line is good. Look to see on the inside of the wheel and tire to make sure there's no damage to it. We'll make sure that the steering mechanism is greased and is working properly, no slack in it. Make sure that your hood is latched. You don't want your hood to come open going down the road. Now I'm going to look at my tires. I'm going to knock the tire to make sure that it's just fully inflated with air. I'm going to check my lug nuts to make sure all levers are tight in place. I make sure that my caps on my DEF tank are secure. The battery box is secure. Make sure my fuel cap is secure. I always make sure these gaskets, these rubber seals, are all good. If it's missing, you can get these at the truck stop for like a 10 cents. I'll go ahead and put them on. Then I plug my pigtail in. Make sure it's got a good connection in the trailer. Make sure it's a good connection over here on the tractor. Then I'm going to try to get in the cab. Turn on my lights. Then I'm going to walk around and make sure that all my lights are working on the tractor. Turn signals is working on the tractor. Even up here, this signal light up here on this side, make sure it burning. The biggest thing a driver needs is a flashlight. Once I get back here, first thing I do is make sure them jaws is locked around the trailer. You don't want your trailer to come off going down the road. My lights is burning back here on the back of the tractor. Make sure everything is connected here properly to slide your fifth wheel. And then I kick my tires to make sure that they're inflated. I check my lug nuts to make sure all of those are tight. I even make sure that the valve stem's still on the where you put air in the tires. Then I go and do every tire the same. Then I make sure the light's working on the trailer. Something else I need to do, make sure the trailer register is right there. Then I'm going to dial my trailer down. Then as a safety precaution, I always get all the loose gravel off the landing gear. Don't want to get somebody's windshield. Make sure my lights is working. I go back here. I kick my trailer tires. Make sure my lugs is tight. Make sure that the hub is not throwing any kind of grease. If it is, I report it. I make sure that my slide gear, the slide tandem, is all locked and in place. I go back here, I kick my tire, make sure my lugs are secure, look for any grease, make sure my mud flap is secure, make sure my lights is working. Then I open the trunk. Even though this trailer is empty, I'm looking for sunlight. Or if it's raining, you can tell if the trailer's leaking. Be water coming in. You don't want to take it down this trailer to the customer. It will not load it. The floor is swept. Then I'll make sure my doors are latched, make sure my lights is burning, make sure all my lights is burning back here. Make sure that my tag is working, my light's working. Make sure there's a tag. Make sure every light on this trailer is working. Then I just repeat the steps on this side as the other side. Drivers, make sure that you have your insurance card and your registration cab card. That's in the little packet that is provided in each truck. Always make sure that you have the proper paperwork before you start your trip. I've inspected the truck, I've inspected the trailer, didn't find any defects. Now I'm fixing to head on my trip.
Now that we've completed our pre-trip inspection, we'll get back in the cab and we're still on this screen. If you did find a defect, you would select yes. And as you can see, it's going to tree out. It's going to ask for your name, trailer number, and it's going to ask you, was there a defect found on the tractor? In this case, let's say no. So I ask, well, was there a defect on the trailer? We'll say yes. And you can see that it's going to ask more information from you to find out what's going on. Was it the brake connections, brake, coupling devices? You fill out everything in orange that is that would be required for a defect found. If there's no defect found, you just simply select no and done. Quick reminder, when there is a defect found, it's going to, and you've finished all the required fields and select done, it's going to send out an email to breakdown, our shop, and dispatch. But if something's going to put you out of service, you need to make sure that you pick up the phone and give your fleet manager a call.